screen. Okay. So everyone can see my screen sharing properly. Okay. So, okay, I will start. So hi, everyone. I am Hsiao-Han. I am a master's student from National Cheng University in Taiwan. And it's my pleasure to be here to present my research with all of you. So the topic of my research is exploring Taiwan indie musicians' skills development, case study on band practitioners. So a little background of my research is that we all know that pandemic has had a huge impact on the world in the past few years. Although many music concerts and events were canceled, it is music that has been with us and healed us through the internet. So according to IFPI Engaging with Music 2021 report, there are over 80% of music fans from around the world reported that music helped them with their emotional well-being, and over 80% of them said that music provided happiness during pandemic. Let's take a closer look at the global music market. The total revenue has increased since 2015. And as you can see that the total online streaming has grown significantly, especially in the past 3 years. And it has accounted for over 60% of the music industry. Another statistic from the media research, actually, it indicated that the indie music sector is the fastest growing sector in the global music industry, and its growth rate accounted for almost 10% of the global music market. And as a matter of fact, the indie music sector in Taiwan has also emerged on the Mandopop market. So I will take the GMA Award as an example. GMA Award is the abbreviation of Golden Melody Awards, and it's one of the iconic and representative music award in the Mandopop market. So if you look at the Best Band Award in the past few years, you will find that all the winners, they are all indie bands in Taiwan. They won this award by their self-produced album. So there are reasons why the indie music sector is sprouting here in Taiwan. Firstly, it's because these indie musicians, they are benefiting from online streaming growth. And not only so, actually the Ministry of Culture in Taiwan, they are also providing various subsidy programs and also holding different kind of music awards like GMA Awards, and there's another one called GIMA, which is Golden Indie Music Awards. These kind of activities to support and promote indie music in Taiwan. And according to Taiwan Culture and Creative Industry Annual Report in 2020, it showed that the company numbers of music industry in Taiwan was also increasing. So with this background and my previous working experiences as a marketing specialist in creative industry here, the reason motivated me to study more on the indie music sector and to document their efforts and values. Can you please check? Okay, I'm not sure. I'm on page 4. I'm not sure if everyone can see my page now.
Yes, you're good. It's not okay. It's not moving.
Also, okay, I will maybe I will share again. I think it's because of it's a bit lag. Is it working now?
Yes.
I'm now on page number 4. Okay.
Page number 4, yes.
Okay, so I will continue to talk about my research questions. I've got 3 questions. The first one is, what is the complexity of indie music DIY? The second question is, how do indie musicians, they cultivate their skills through managing and delivering projects? And the last one is, what is the know-how for the indie musicians to develop a sustainable music career? So here is my research conceptual framework that I divided my research into 3 parts. Firstly, to understand the complexity that laid behind indie DIY. and then through case study to find out skills development in real life context, and finally to develop a guideline for music practitioners or entrepreneurs. The expected outcome is to contribute theoretically to creative industry, especially to the music sector, and practically for indie musicians who are pursuing career in this industry. So here is the literature map that I try to organize the relationship of the existing theories that I will explain more in the coming slides. Okay. So what makes indie indie? In this research is not going to discuss music genre, but to address operational definition of indie is about DIY and autonomy. DIY meaning that these indie musicians, they make music all by themselves, all the way through the cultural cycle from creation to dissemination. As for the autonomy, meaning that they have the liberty, they can create music and produce music by following their will. And their music is not produced by any major record label such as Universal, Sony, EMI, etc. So some of the driving factors of DIY practice, let's look at the personal factors. For example, these indie musicians, they will be motivated by their passion for music, their desire for pursuing an independent career. As for internal factors, it's more about organizational. So creative industry tend to be project-based organization, meaning that tasks and works are done within the project life cycle, that the ideas and skills are get to spread and get to learn by the indie musicians. And the external factors, there are accessibilities of internet, affordability of digital technology. So in order to understand DIY practice, I adapt theory from Leadbeater and Oakley, describing these independent musicians as cultural entrepreneur, that they are also developing entrepreneurship all the way from gestation, growth to development. And imagine that this process, actually this development is consisting of projects that projects are making this development working. So as illustrated here, the indie musicians, they grow as they practice in DIY through project after project, that the development is actually consists of various projects, and their skills are at the same time being demonstrated or learned along through their journey. So let's take a closer look at the project. Every project has its life cycle from initiating, planning, executing, and closing. So imagine this is the process of delivering projects, that you can see the indie musicians, he or she has to bear with risk, and he or she has to learn how to manage and organize resources with skills all the way through the project life cycle. And thus I came up with this radar figure. It's a skill radar that I try to integrate skills that previous studies have addressed. And this research listed 8 crucial skills. They are applying digital tools, planning, managing, marketing, networking, communicating, leadership, and creativity and innovation, that I would want to explore more with my case study. And the research gap I found is that there are lacking of studies in Asia and Mandopop context of skills development, and there are few contexts about growing music career and entrepreneurship. So talk about the methodology, that this research will use case study as method, that I will conduct case study to understand skills development in real life setting. So start with literature review to understand some of the key theories. And then afterwards, I will conduct a pre-test interview with several indie practitioners, including, for example, like musicians, producers, agents, etc., to understand their general perception and opinions about skills development and how do they grow entrepreneurship along through their projects. And then after that, I will conduct case study to understand the holistic experiences of delivering projects, as well as their skills, as well as their entrepreneurship process. And then the last phase is to collect some of the feedback with questionnaires in order to further refine the guideline for music practitioners and entrepreneurs. So at this moment, I have already chosen, there's an indie band in Taiwan called Sunset Roller Coaster. And this photo is taken in last year's GMA award that they are winning the Best Band Award. So actually this band have already formed for over 10 years. They are formed in 2009 and they have already released 4 albums all by themselves. And they have also set some of the milestones. For example, like they have already set their company, they embark on several world tours, and they won this GMA award. So the rationale of choosing this band, because this band, they are producing everything all by themselves through DIY practice. And they have developed skills and entrepreneurship. For example, they've got their own company, they are embarking on different world tours, that they are also demonstrating their skills of managing these projects. And lastly, they are their DIY practices are driven by the factors I just mentioned. So before moving to case study, I have already conducted pre-test interview with some of the indie practitioners in Taiwan for example, this one, Anu, he is one of the indie indigenous singer here, and another 2 is indie bands in Taiwan. They have already formed for over 10 years. So this is the questions I ask about them because I want to understand what is the current situation of the music industry nowadays in Taiwan, and how do they transform their interest into profession. And lastly, to understand how do they accumulate their skills through music entrepreneurship and projects. And what I found interesting is that they are very willing to share their projects and experiences, but however, they are unaware of they are developing their skills while they are delivering projects. So for Anu, he talks about skills that he values the most is about planning and creativity and innovation of the music creation itself. As for Greedy Black Hole, they think that it is a very essential skills of applying digital tools, that it's the basic knowledge of indie band nowadays. So that's what they value the most. And as for Pisco, this band, they value the most about networking because they are emphasizing this networking because they think that it's very important to maintain and sustain networking with human resources, because that will offer them different kind of opportunities for them to promote themselves and to give them opportunity to perform. And also they value about the leadership because all the members, they are very they compliment a lot about the leader of the band, that she is the core member that leading the band to move on. So that's why they can sustain for over 10 years. So that's basically for today's sharing. And this is my reference list. Thank you.